Well, Alyson Stoner grew up working in Hollywood, appearing in Disney shows like Phineas and Ferb and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and movies like Cheaper by the Dozen and Step Up. But off camera, life was not all glitz and glamour. Now in their 30s, Alyson is sharing their often painful experience as a child star in a new memoir, Semi-Well-Adjusted Despite Literally Everything. Sheila Watko spoke to the mental health advocate, actor, dancer, and now best-selling author about this new book.
At just 7 years old, Alyson Stoner blasted onto the scene in Missy Elliott's Work It music video. They became a fixture on Disney Channel, including the Camp Rock franchise. Now they're sharing the challenges they experienced behind the scenes in a new memoir, Semi-Well-Adjusted Despite Literally Everything.
We've had a handful of books the last few years, kind of talking about what child stars kind of went through while we were watching them grow up before our eyes as we were growing up. Why was it important for you to share your story?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. I don't know if you realize, but if you notice this toddler to train wreck pipeline of young performers coming forward and sharing a very similar kind of downward spiral and regrouping after an unusual childhood experience, that's been happening repeatedly for over a century, yet no one has given the audience all of the information so we can unpack the system of why this happens and what we can do to intervene. Because this is actually far more relevant than just child entertainers. It's about making sense of what it means to navigate the world in 2025.
I'm a fellow 2000s kid. I grew up as a big fan of yours. When you brought the Camp Rock tour to Camden, my sister and I were in the 8th row. I vividly remember we turned to each other and being like, Alyson is so talented. So hearing the part of the book and hearing like that was kind of a nice experience, I was glad because you were phenomenal to see in person and perform live.
Thank you. Yes, I think the book allows for all of the nuance and complexity for readers and listeners to have a more immersive experience. So you know all of the juicy, intimate details that were happening during those experiences growing up.
Welcome to Movement Genius.
Alyson is now a certified mental health professional and co-founded Movement Genius, a digital platform that provides live and on-demand classes to help others focus on physical and mental well-being.
We have to recognize that the stresses we experience get stored in our body unless we have the tools to process, express, and release them on a daily basis. And not all of us can join, full-length yoga classes or work out for an hour a day. And so I wanted to make sure that our tools were accessible, that they were designed by a variety of people who have a variety of skill sets and expertise.
In the book, you wrote that at early dance auditions, you would sometimes take the kids who were not dancers and practice with them in the corner, even if it meant maybe you would lose the part to them. That part really struck me. I think it speaks to your character, even since you were such a young child, and it made me think, wow, that little girl helping the other kids who it didn't come so easily to would be so proud of you today.
Wow. You're the first person to pick up on that moment in the book, and that means so much. Thank you for connecting those dots.
Looking back at 7-year-old Alyson, just starting out, teenage Alyson, kind of struggling, 20-something Alyson, what would each of them be proud of today, Alyson, for?
All ages, I think, would be proud of current Alyson finally understanding my conscious agency in how I design my life. I think all ages would be proud of my best attempt, which is imperfect and flawed, but still my best attempt every day at trying to be semi-well-adjusted despite literally everything.
It was so nice to meet you and talk to you, and I really, really love the book, and congratulations on top 3 audiobooks and best-selling, I think on New York Times and AP, right?
Yes. Yay, thank you so much.
I'm Sheila Watko for Philly Live.
Alyson Stoner's memoir, Semi-Well-Adjusted Despite Literally Everything, is available wherever books are sold and wherever you listen to audiobooks.